Welcome back to History of Simple Things. Today's topic comes from one of our viewers, Leodan4615. Thank you for the fantastic suggestion. You asked, what could power the world in the future? Electricity has become so deeply woven into our daily lives that most of us rarely stop to think about where it comes from, let alone where it might come from decades from now. But as the world's energy needs continue to grow and technology evolves at an incredible pace, scientists and engineers are searching for the next generation of power sources that could shape the future. So, what possibilities are on the horizon, and could they change the way we generate electricity forever? Stick around as we explore what could power the world in the future, right here on History of Simple Things. For most of modern history, electricity has come from a relatively small group of sources. Coal, natural gas, hydropower, and nuclear energy have supplied the majority of the world's electricity, with wind and solar growing rapidly in recent years. While these technologies have transformed civilization, each comes with trade-offs. Fossil fuels release greenhouse gases, suitable dam locations are limited, and renewable sources depend on weather conditions. At the same time, global electricity demand is expected to continue rising as more transportation, heating, and industries become electrified. Meeting that demand while reducing emissions is one of the biggest engineering challenges of this century, which is why researchers are exploring not just improvements to existing technologies, but entirely new ways to generate power. The first step toward the future may not involve something completely new. Instead, many experts believe today's renewable technologies will become far more efficient than they are now. Solar panels continue to convert a greater percentage of sunlight into electricity, while advanced materials promise lighter, cheaper, and longer-lasting designs. Offshore wind farms are also expanding into deeper waters using floating platforms, allowing countries to harness stronger and more consistent winds. Improvements in battery storage, pumped hydro, and other energy storage systems are making it easier to save electricity when production is high and use it later when demand increases. Rather than replacing today's renewables, the future will likely involve making them smarter, more reliable, and easier to integrate into national power grids. Another technology attracting renewed interest is nuclear energy. Unlike fossil fuel power plants, nuclear reactors generate electricity without producing carbon dioxide during operation, and they can provide steady power regardless of the weather. Many countries are now investing in small modular reactors, or SMRs, which are designed to be factory-built, easier to install, and potentially less expensive than traditional nuclear plants. Looking even further ahead, scientists continue pursuing nuclear fusion, the same process that powers the sun. Fusion has the potential to produce enormous amounts of energy with minimal long-lived radioactive waste and no greenhouse gas emissions during operation. Although recent experiments have demonstrated important scientific milestones, commercial fusion power plants remain a significant engineering challenge and are unlikely to become widespread for several more decades. Some of the most promising future energy sources have been around us all along. Geothermal energy taps into the Earth's internal heat, but newer enhanced geothermal systems could allow electricity generation even in places without naturally occurring hot springs or geysers. Engineers are also improving technologies that capture energy from ocean tides, waves, and currents. Because tides are driven by the predictable movement of the moon, tidal power offers greater consistency than many weather-dependent renewable sources. Researchers are even studying ways to harvest energy from differences in ocean temperatures and salinity where rivers meet the sea. The future may also involve generating electricity from materials we usually throw away. Waste-to-energy facilities already burn non-recyclable waste to produce electricity while reducing the amount sent to landfills. Meanwhile, biomass power plants use agricultural leftovers, forestry waste, and specially grown energy crops as fuel. Researchers are also developing better ways to capture methane produced by landfills, wastewater treatment plants, and livestock farms before it escapes into the atmosphere. That methane can then be burned to generate electricity with lower overall climate impact than allowing it to leak naturally. Although these sources alone cannot power entire nations, they help recover useful energy from materials that would otherwise be discarded. Perhaps the most important innovation won't be a single new power source at all. Instead, it may be the creation of smarter electrical grids that combine many different technologies into one flexible network. Future grids could automatically balance electricity flowing from solar farms, wind turbines, nuclear plants, geothermal stations, batteries, and even millions of electric vehicles connected to chargers. Artificial intelligence may help predict electricity demand, detect equipment failures before they happen, and distribute power more efficiently. Long-distance high-voltage transmission lines could also move clean electricity across entire countries and even between neighboring nations. The future of electricity is unlikely to be defined by a single revolutionary invention that replaces everything we know today. Instead, it will probably emerge from decades of steady improvements, new discoveries, and smarter ways of connecting different technologies together. Some ideas like advanced solar panels and small modular reactors are already moving toward wider use, while others, such as commercial fusion, remain ambitious goals still under development. Every generation has found new ways to harness the forces of nature, from flowing rivers to splitting atoms. The next chapter will continue that tradition, driven not by one answer, but by humanity's constant search for cleaner, safer, and more dependable ways to power the world. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.